Before hospitals, pregnancy was not a countdown to a due date. It was a gamble. No ultrasound, no blood pressure cuff, no sterile room, no emergency surgery waiting behind a door, no doctor saying the baby is fine. For ancient humans, pregnancy meant carrying a new life through a world already trying to kill you. Hunger, cold and infection, predators, bad water, long walks, bleeding. A baby turned the wrong way, a labor that went on too long. And yet, every person alive today exists because enough ancient mothers survived it. So how did they do it? How did ancient humans survive pregnancy when even modern childbirth can still become dangerous? The answer begins with a strange fact. Human birth is unusually difficult. A baby's head is large. The mother's pelvis is shaped by walking upright. And unlike many animals, human babies do not simply slide out in one easy direction. They rotate. They twist. They emerge through a narrow passage in a way that makes childbirth physically complicated. This is one reason humans may have become almost unique among primates. We do not usually give birth alone. Somewhere deep in human history, childbirth stopped being only a private biological event. It became social. A woman in labor needed hands. Someone to watch, someone to hold her, someone to bring water, someone to keep children away, someone to notice when things were going wrong. The first midwives did not wear uniforms. They were mothers, grandmothers, sisters, older women who had seen birth before, people who knew the sounds, the waiting, the blood, the difference between pain that meant progress and pain that meant danger. That knowledge was not written down. It lived in memory. One birth taught the next birth. One survival became instruction. One death became a warning. This was the first way ancient humans survived pregnancy. They did not make the mother survive it alone. The group surrounded the risk, because pregnancy was not only her problem. A pregnant woman carried the future of the group. Another child meant another set of hands, another voice, another gatherer, another hunter, another person to remember the dead. So the group had a reason to protect her. Not always gently, not perfectly. Ancient life was not romantic, but survival made pregnancy matter to everyone. A pregnant woman needed more food, more rest, more protection. She might walk slower, carry less, need help with older children, need someone else to gather when her body became heavy. And this is where humans were different. We are cooperative breeders. Human mothers were not meant to raise children completely alone. Other people helped. Grandmothers, fathers, older siblings, aunts, allies, sometimes people who were not blood relatives at all. They carried babies, shared food, watched children, protected mothers. This help mattered before birth, during birth, and after birth. Because surviving pregnancy was not just surviving labor, it was surviving everything around it. The months of extra hunger, the risk of falling behind, the exhaustion after delivery, the bleeding, the newborn who needed warmth every hour, the older child still crying for food. Without help, one body had to do too much. With help, the danger was spread across the group. That may be one of the oldest secrets of human survival. We survived pregnancy by making motherhood less solitary. But the danger was still enormous. If labor became obstructed, ancient humans had very few options. If infection entered the body, they did not know about bacteria. If bleeding would not stop, there was no blood transfusion. If blood pressure rose dangerously, they could not measure it. If the baby died inside the womb, they had no safe modern procedure to fix it. Sometimes the mother lived, sometimes the baby lived, sometimes both died. And the archaeological record is cruelly quiet about this. Pregnancy rarely leaves clear marks on bone. Many women who died in childbirth disappeared into the same silence as everyone else. The fetus might not preserve, the burial might not survive, the cause of death might leave no trace. So when we talk about ancient pregnancy, we are often studying an absence. But ancient people saw it. They saw the women who did not stand back up. They saw labor that stretched from sunset to sunrise. They saw blood soak the ground. They saw the difference between an easy birth and a terrible one. And because they saw it, they learned. They learned positions, squatting, kneeling, leaning, standing, places where gravity helped, hands that supported without turning panic into harm, ways to keep the mother warm, ways to keep the newborn close. Some knowledge worked, some did not. Some practices helped because they were practical. Others helped because they gave fear a shape. Ritual mattered, a chant, a charm, a fire kept burning, an elder speaking to the unseen. Modern people may dismiss this as superstition, but in a world with no hospital, ritual did something important. It organized terror. It told the mother she was not alone. It told the group what to do. It turned chaos into a pattern. Food was another form of medicine. A pregnant body needs energy. But ancient diets were unpredictable. A dry season could shrink everyone. A failed hunt could make pregnancy dangerous, so sharing mattered. If the group fed the pregnant woman, they were feeding the future. This is probably why older women were so important. A grandmother who could no longer give birth could still help others survive birth. She could gather food, watch children, recognize danger, remember what worked. In a harsh world, knowledge after menopause was not useless. It was survival stored in a human body. After the birth, the danger did not end. A newborn could die from cold, the mother could die from infection, bleeding could return, milk might not come, the baby might not latch, the mother might be too weak to travel. A group on the move had to decide when to wait and when to go. That decision could be brutal, because staying might protect the mother, but staying too long might endanger everyone. Ancient pregnancy survived inside this tension. The value of one mother and child against the needs of the whole camp. And still, again and again, the group waited, helped, carried, shared, because the cost was worth it, because the future arrived helpless, bloody, screaming, and unable to survive a single night alone. That is the strangest thing about humans. We are born unfinished. A newborn horse stands quickly. A human baby cannot even lift its own head. It needs warmth, milk, protection, faces, touch, years of care. So every human birth was not really the end of pregnancy. It was the beginning of a much longer survival project. The mother survived because others helped her. The baby survived because others helped the mother. And the group survived because enough babies lived to become adults. That was the chain, not medicine in the modern sense. A living net. Hands before birth, hands during birth, hands after birth. So how did ancient humans survive pregnancy? They survived it with experience, with older women, with shared food, with birth helpers, with rest when possible, with ritual when knowledge ran out, with group childcare, with patience, with luck, and with loss. A lot of loss. We should not soften that part. Every ancient camp probably knew the silence after a birth went wrong, the empty place where a mother should have been, the baby wrapped too small, the older child suddenly held by someone else. Pregnancy was not a beautiful, natural process untouched by fear. It was one of the closest places ancient humans stood to death, but it was also where they stood closest to the future. Every successful birth was a victory over anatomy, hunger, infection, weather, exhaustion, and chance. Every crying newborn meant the group had beaten the odds one more time. No machines, no monitors, no sterile light, just breath, blood, hands, fire, memory, and people refusing to let one woman face the oldest danger alone. That is why you are here. Not because ancient pregnancy was safe, but because again and again, in the dark before medicine, someone heard a woman cry out. Someone came closer. Someone held her up. Someone kept the fire alive. And when the baby finally screamed, the whole human story continued.